We sit down today with Veronica Manning from New Zealand. She's a lifter and a recent Cat 2 international referee. We discuss lifting in New Zealand, what makes it so special, their amazing community, and what their youth are doing to move the sport forward. We also discuss why New Zealand and how New Zealand has managed to grow its affiliated membership by nearly 50% over the last year. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions. So literally this is just about us chatting about the sport, finding out a little bit about you. And I think, there's always the opportunity that if we can sort of create some interest, there's stuff that, you can use the podcast to send to sponsors and so on and so forth. That, because, sponsorship is always a good thing. So, all right, Veronica Manning, welcome to Coffee and Conversations, a cold coffee and conversations with champions, because we're sitting with 3 degrees and you got 9 degrees. So I think you get a pretty rougher winter than we do in Johannesburg. So I think we get like -3 at the worst, -4, and but it's like 16, 17, 18 during the day. You guys can get like you cold and wet, right?
Yeah, I'm down in Queenstown, which is at the bottom of New Zealand. And yeah, we do get down into the minuses, probably not much colder,
Okay.
but it doesn't get much like in the middle of winter, like 9 degrees will be the warmest it gets today.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's quite warm. Like I'm in a t-shirt.
Okay.
So there'll be some days where it's like a low of -2 and
Right.
then a high of like 4.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay. Yeah. All right. You
yeah.
guys,
Yeah, we
we
just had some
win.
fresh snow last night.
Oh, wow. Okay. We had snow on Monday for the first time in I think about probably 10 years, 8, 9 years.
Oh
And
wow.
it's not really snow. It's like a flurry, a little bit of snow. I mean, you could make a muddy snowman if you wanted to, but it's nothing too serious. So, we have a local food called pup, which is maize
Mhm.
meal. So
Yeah.
the joke is always it's not snowing, it's raining pup. So raining
Uh,
white maize meal, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, listen, it was this. We get a bit of cold polar, but I mean, you guys are getting sort of the air from from the Antarctic, huh? Like quite rough. All right,
definitely.
yeah, okay. Back. All right, let's get to work. So tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Sure. So I'm very involved in powerlifting.
Epic.
I lift, obviously.
Hmm.
I've just become a category 2 referee, which is
Yeah,
really
hang on
cool.
a second.
Nice. I like
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Um, I am also I'm the president of our like regional association down here.
Okay, awesome.
Uh, and I also sit on the national executive committee. I don't really have my role is technically junior liaison, but I don't. I'm not. I was a junior last year, but I'm not a junior anymore, and I don't do a whole lot in that role.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, my outside of powerlifting, I'm a lawyer, so I try and help the national committee in that capacity as much as I can.
Mm. So are you a vexatious litigant or a juristic person? Sorry.
I don't do any litigation.
Okay.
I'm a solicitor, so I'm very much like
Okay.
a transactional
Yeah.
lawyer.
Oh, do you have the cool wig?
Yeah, I've got a photo of me with the wig on. That's what you
Okay.
wear when you get admitted to the bar.
Yeah, yeah, that's epic. Okay, fantastic. So how did you find powerlifting? How did you come to the sport?
Um, it was my ex-boyfriend.
Mm,
I was already in the gym training in high school. I started off doing like ages ago. It was like a real hype thing to do like those body weight, like high intensity interval training
mm,
workouts. It was like the thing everyone did, and my dad got sick of me being in the lounge and like doing it around the house. And he was like, "All right, I'm going to buy you a gym membership." So I went to the gym
Brilliant.
and
Yeah.
learned how to like lift weights, like use some of the machines.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met a guy and he was like, "I do powerlifting, you should try it." And that was in 2016. So
Okay.
that was my last year of high school and never looked back.
That's brilliant. So tell us a little bit about Powerlifting New Zealand. What's the community like?
Powerlifting in New Zealand is growing
Mm-hmm.
really quickly at the moment.
Epic. Good.
Um, yeah, the thing I really love about our um, like our national association and all the regions as well is that
Mm.
it's not it's not run by a bunch of old people that don't lift anymore. No offense. I'm sure you still lift, but I'm not being ageist. But we do have a lot of really young people that actually hold
Yeah.
the reins and make the decisions. And I think
Okay.
that makes a difference because there's no, you kind of see it with other countries that there is a gap between
Mm-hmm.
the people that run the show and the people that are actually lifting. And so sometimes there's no meeting of minds. Whereas in New Zealand, we don't have that to the same degree because the lifters are also in those, executive positions, which
So
is cool.
is that sort of even the older lifters, the guys who have been around for longer, are still lifting? So, or is it that it's the
Mm,
everybody's young?
everyone's young. To be
Okay.
honest, we lost a lot of our older lifters. I don't know if this really like reached your part of the world. I'm sure
Mm.
you would have heard about it, but in 2018 we had the split with World Powerlifting, so we lost a good chunk of our
Mm-hmm.
masters lifters to that, and some of them have come
Okay.
back, but a lot of them haven't. They're probably all too old for lifting now. I don't
Right.
know.
What's too old for lifting?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like I reckon a lot of them would be in their 70s
Okay.
now.
Sure.
So,
There was a Japanese lady at World Bench, 86 years old,
hmm,
and she benched
wow.
86 kilos.
Oh, that's
Like,
so cool.
I mean, how epic is that? Okay, so I mean, what you're saying is something that I've been finding in a lot of the chats where people are feeling that there is a little bit of a disconnect between lift, sort of where it's an older group that's operating and running the sport, and then the lifters are younger, and there is a little bit of a disconnect. In South Africa, we have a challenge with other federations as well that
Mm.
are growing quicker than ours is because and maybe that is one of the reasons. So what do you think that you guys are doing? Because it's a great question for myself to ask. What are you guys doing that's attracting the younger lifters? And why do you think the sport is growing?
I think the quality of our competitions is just every single one that we do, it gets
Mm,
better, and that I can say that in our region, um, every time we do a comp, we tweak it based on feedback from the last one. We do a little bit
mhm,
better. Our live stream is a better quality.
mm, mm.
We try and accommodate the lifters a little bit better in some way, and they're doing that at the national level as well. So every nationals we have,
Okay.
it's like a competition because it's hosted by a different region each year,
Okay.
and it is like a who can do it the best. How can we do it better than last year? And I
Right.
think that young people really appreciate that, and the work that we've put in with the live stream and just like that kind of digital technology
Mm,
stuff makes it more accessible for young people to find out about it. And
right. I was
yeah,
going to say, I mean, just chatting to you, your audio quality and camera quality are fantastic. So thank
that's
you.
good.
Looking great.
I've
Yeah. So,
just recently
yeah.
bought this like fancy little
Oh,
microphone thing,
cool.
so it's good that it's doing the job.
Yeah. And it's pink, so it matches. So I think, how much are you guys utilizing sort of social media and that to grow awareness of the sport and sort of
Massively, massively.
interact? Right. Can you tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about
So
that? Mm,
yeah, so every association has a Facebook page. I say every regional association
mm,
and a
mm.
national association, and everyone has Instagram pages as well. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see like a TikTok come up at some point.
Or
um,
Threads now, the new one with
yeah,
the new face, the
yeah,
Instagram chat, right?
yeah.
Mm.
So I
Okay,
think we
cool.
do a really good job of communicating through those channels.
All right. How has the growth been? Sort of, where is your membership base now?
I don't know. We haven't had our AGM yet
Mm-hmm.
for the nationals, but we have had our AGM for my regional association,
Mm.
and we're probably nearly 50% increase
Sure.
on last year.
Okay, that's huge.
Um, yeah,
That's
but
really that's a great
nationally,
number.
the sport's still very small. I think we're maybe about 500 was
Okay.
last year's number.
Sure. All right. Listen, that's not a bad number base to be working from. You know, chatting to the guys in India, I think they went like in 4 years from like 400 lifters. They're over 7,000 lifters now. But
Wow.
yeah. I think New Zealand's quite a sporty nation. You've been
Hmm.
known to I don't know, delve into that. What's that game called, rugby? And so, do you think that there's sort of? I mean, you guys are quite like outdoorsy and sporty, and so do
Mm.
you think that's one of the attractions with powerlifting as well as its carryover to other sports, or guys are getting involved for the sport specifically?
Um, there's definitely a bit of crossover for sure. Like, especially the bigger boys or
Mm.
even the bigger girls, they might have been like props or locks,
Hmm.
you know, in high school, and maybe they get an injury and get into the gym, and that's how they transition.
As
But
in,
to be
seeing
honest,
some of
like,
your guys at the age 8, they were a prop for the national team. Yeah,
yeah,
got some big guys. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
we
Mm.
do. Um, but yeah, I find a lot of powerlifters in New Zealand are, we're all a little bit funny. Like, probably didn't do much team sport growing up, but kind of like independent, sort of
Hmm.
more isolated type of person.
Right.
I think that will change as the sport grows, but at the moment there is a lot of like lone souls in the
Okay.
sport, and we all kind of band together, and yeah.
So, I mean, that is something that's really incredible about the sport, is that you can be a bit of a lone soldier, lone operator, but the community is so warm and so
Mm,
welcoming and so supportive that you suddenly find yourself part of a community, involved on the executive, that kind of stuff. So,
mm.
yeah, tell us a little bit about the community and what it means to you.
Um, what it means to me, I think we have a great culture in our powerlifting community of giving back. I think it's almost an expectation, and it's
Giving
like,
in terms of supporting the federation and the region.
mm,
That okay?
yeah, yeah, and just even like meet day, volunteering, spotting and
Mm.
loading,
Right.
like that's the cool thing to do, is to spot load or to ref or
Hmm.
help out in
Okay.
some way. So that's what I really like about it, and um, that's probably a little bit biased from my perspective because that's what I
Mm.
see. But um, it's great that it's not just a bunch of people who think they're the star of the show. They show up and lift and then they leave, and who cares
Hmm.
about the rest of it? People do care about making sure that everyone has a good competition experience, um, by helping out on other sessions,
Okay.
spotting
Well,
and loading and stuff.
that's brilliant. I mean, that's very very cool. Where does that come from?
I think there's a real Kiwi attitude of
Yeah. Mm.
just, pull up your socks, get on with it, do the hard yakka.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Support the
Like,
community. So yeah, it's a Kiwi
mm,
thing. Okay, absolutely
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. What did you think of the community when you were in Hong Kong? Did you find it was easy to chat to people and to connect?
Definitely not as much. There was there's a big language barrier
Yeah.
to start with. Um, and I don't recall having any problems like working in with people.
Mm.
I think it was, I don't know, maybe the level of the competition could have an effect because I'd say it was probably a bit friendlier than like at Worlds, but at Worlds
Mhm.
people are probably a bit more just like tunnel vision on what they've got to do. So,
100%. What did you think of the South African spotting and loading teams?
oh, they're fantastic. I was
Uh,
so pleased to see them in
yeah.
Hong Kong. It's like, yes. A couple of people were like, oh, I think that's the Czech spotting and loading team. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, no,
Yeah.
these guys are South African.
Yeah. We had a couple of guys going, oh, were they speaking Russian?
Oh,
It's
no.
like, no, no, Afrikaans, Afrikaans. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great experience to be able to work with those guys. I mean, they're proper next level. I think
Mm. Do they
talking,
do that professionally?
no, it's for fun.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. So yeah, like I think like Rulof, the tall guy who's sort of the team captain. We can say, I mean, he's
Mm.
been spotting and loading since he was 10. I think
Oh,
he was
jeez.
telling us a story like with his dad. He caught, I don't know, like a 240 or 220 bench or something insane, equipped when
Wow.
he was 10 years old. Like, so he's really. Like, yeah, he was the glue that sort of holds it all together. And the fun thing with that is you don't want to be the guy finishing last in your station. You know,
Mm.
it's a little bit of a challenge and bit of fun. I think the one session, I don't know, it was the one that you refed where it was supposed to be like 6 hours and we did it in 3 hours 45 minutes. So
Mm.
it went pretty quick. It was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
yeah. For you with the powerlifting, what do you get out of the sport? What does it mean to you? So let's go three questions. What does it mean to you? What do you get out of the sport? And why should someone get involved?
Um. Oh, I, I, I don't know if I'm that much of a deep person.
Mm,
Like I don't. Uh, Obviously, it's very rewarding, and because I'm a lifter, it's like, well, it just makes sense to me
mm,
to do all the other bits and pieces that need to be
right.
done because someone's got to do it, and so
But
I don't really
that's a
think.
hugely valuable thing, you know,
Mm,
because the sport won't grow without people getting involved. And
mm,
reffing as well is tough because if guys aren't getting if they're not getting their lifts and they're blaming you, and you're getting the
mm,
coach yelling at you, you're getting the athlete yelling at you, you're getting the whole team giving you dirty looks, and it's not always a very comfortable place to be. But
mm,
without refs, there's no competition, and without
yeah.
spotters and loaders. So yeah, it's a very cool thing. It's a really good culture to be building on. So cool.
Mm,
Okay. So how does it? I mean, is there any sort of aspect in terms of mental health that you find that's beneficial from lifting?
totally,
Okay.
totally. And that's probably what's kept me lifting. When I was like really young, I say really young. When I was a teenager, I did have mental health trouble, and it was exercising, which led to going to the gym, which led to
Mhm.
powerlifting. That
Yeah.
has really helped me, I think.
Okay. So I mean, if you were talking to sort of other youngsters, other kids that were in a similar situation, what would you say to them about the benefit of exercise and ultimately lifting?
I would say having a goal and a hobby where you can set goals, you can
Mm,
achieve things. It's not, lifting is like a tangible thing. You can see the
mm,
weight on the bar increase. It's not like, oh, I want to get skinny, where you've got to
yeah.
try and look at yourself in the mirror every day, and then that might
Mm,
lead to more negative thoughts.
yeah.
It's just a weight on the bar. You can focus on that. You
Mm,
can set goals, achieve them, and it's very time consuming, the training, so that it takes up a lot of time. You get the endorphins at the end of it.
hmm
um, yeah, I think
And
there's,
it's a healthy crew to hang out with. You know,
yeah.
uh, the thing that I love about it is where the progression is linear. So,
Mm.
I've been sober for 16 years, and I've been fortunate, I think, for 15 years to work with addicts in recovery. And the one thing about recovery, it's very tough when you're having dark days. But when you have something that's progressive and you can work towards it and you can focus on that goal, it can get you through that darkness. And as you said,
Mm.
what is skinny? What is skinny enough? One of my favorite memes is a whole bunch of dancing skeletons, and it's like, hey, girls have finally reached the goal weight. you like it's, and your body changes every day based on what you've eaten, your fluid intake and stuff. But
Mm.
when you're tracking that weight on the barn, you've got stuff to work for, and your PBs are things that you've never done before, and perhaps never thought you could do. When you
Mm.
hit a number that you genuinely believed maybe a year before that you could never do, it's a game changer, and it can change how we feel about ourselves. So
Yeah.
that's epic. So I mean, on that point,
Mm.
why should people look at getting into our sport?
Um, I think there's a really good chance that we're going to replace weightlifting in the Olympics in
Yep.
future.
Hang on a
Uh,
second. And thunder. Thank you. Yeah,
Thunder because
absolutely.
it's controversial.
Yeah. No, thunder because it's epic. I really think
Yeah.
it's time our sport got some respect and value, and I'll tell you why I
Mm.
feel about that now. But so please, sorry for interrupting. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, so if you have dreams of being Olympian, then it's probably a good place to start.
Mm,
Um, for young people, young people don't want to hear this, but it'll like just improve your lifestyle so much,
yeah.
because you're focused on training, you're focused on progressing your training. You're not going to be going out and getting
Mm,
wasted on the weekends or
yep.
generally like making poor life decisions. I think so that improves like your general well-being.
Mm,
Um, but the sport of powerlifting is just you being like really confident in the gym and also carrying that confidence with you into other parts of your life. I think I'm really confident as a lawyer
mm.
because of
You can
the
lift
confidence that
more
I've
than
built in the
opposing
gym.
counsel.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. You walk in like, check the glutes, check the, yeah, this is
Yeah.
going to be a walkover. Okay. Okay, 100%. But it is, I mean, it carries through in everything. And
Mm,
what you said about the life choices for South Africa, where we have communities that are really facing challenges in terms
mm,
of drugs and poverty, and the sport where I've been able to help out a little bit, and our other development programs have been able to help out a little bit. Like, yeah, like especially with young men, it's they would far rather be in the gym lifting weights than out drinking and using drugs because they don't want to
mm.
lose to their friends.
Yeah.
Ego is a wonderful, wonderful driver, and it's a great
Yeah.
way to keep you in the gym and to keep you making healthy life choices. And then what I've
Mm,
found with the younger ladies is the gym actually becomes a safe place for them. That they have an environment that's safe after school to hang out and to spend time. And also for the bigger girls who might not have been so athletic in school,
mm.
so they the strong ones.
Yeah.
When they're lifting more than some of the boys, it's a very, very cool thing. So yeah, I mean, just and also it teaches even if you're cutting weight or gaining weight, to move up or down a division, it's with a purpose and a healthy
Mm,
purpose, which is
yeah.
something that's so special. If we were, sort of, if you were chatting to parents, I think those are some great reasons. But any other sort of reasons why you feel people should get involved in the sport? I mean, and I love the Olympic goal because it's incredible. And just as a question, but just quickly, for me, I think what I love about powerlifting is it's powerlifting is sometimes referred to as the dumb sport compared to Olympic lifting. You don't have to be so technically au fait to
Mm,
do powerlifting versus the to coach Olympic lifting. It's incredibly technical, and with the weight overhead, there's a greater risk. I think we've seen the risk in weightlifting increase with the number of gyms that are teaching it from different sports. Um, oh wow! Hang on a sec. This is Cape Talk. This is the radio
okay.
station. I've got to give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Captain Harry's House of Pancakes. May I take your order? Morning, baby. Well, I've been up already for an hour and a half. I'm chatting to a lovely lifter in New Zealand and attorney. So, yeah, yeah. How are you? Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Good. Yes. Okay. Yes. Nick's fine. Correct. Cold Johannesburg. Mm. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yay! Me too. Awesome. Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Ciao. Bye. Sorry about that. They said at 10:25. So, but I'll just edit that out. So we got a quick 10 minutes.
All good.
I got a call. Yeah, it's a local radio station in Cape Town. So talking
Sweet.
about powerlifting, and this is why I think it really should be considered an Olympic sport, purely because of the greater access that people have to it, the greater
Mm,
access for coach development, and the speed at
yeah.
which people can get to represent their country.
Mm,
You can learn to lift effectively relatively quickly, and then with great coaching, you can refine those techniques and get your numbers to where they need to be. And it really,
mm,
really should be considered as an Olympic sport because of the access, and particularly poorer communities. You don't need a lot to set up a gym. And
mm.
these are the things. Sorry, I'm a little bit passionate and vocal about that. So
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
so absolutely. So where would you like to see powerlifting in New Zealand going?
I think we really need to expand. Well, what I'd actually like to see is just having more international competitions
Mm,
that, don't take 30 hours of traveling to get to. So bringing that, not like worlds,
mm,
but, maybe some regional international competitions here. We had Commonwealths in New Zealand last year,
yep.
um, which you guys came to.
And the
So
what the
that was the
guys raved
start, and I
about.
think,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That was like pretty big deal for our guys in New Zealand to put on, but I would like to see more of that, and I think that's what we need to do because
Okay.
we clearly have a lot of talent in New
Hmm.
Zealand
Yeah.
somehow, in our tiny little pool of like 4 million people.
Yeah.
So we're going to give them the
Less
opportunity to
less
shine.
than the community, less than the size of the population of Johannesburg. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's fantastic. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
No, 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 you're not
Mm,
at all. Yeah, so I think that's what we're going to do. I think we need to be a bit more proactive about things because at the moment we're kind of like just
mm,
plodding along, doing what we can, and a
mm,
lot of things pop up that are unexpected, and we have to react to them. So I would
mm,
love to see, and I really want to be part of changing it so that we're proactively doing things and keeping on top of new policies and
mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
Right. Okay. 100%. I think in terms of the coaching, how are you finding the coaching level, the availability of coaches, the growth of coaches?
Yeah, I think it's really good. We've got a lot of great coaches in New Zealand. Not a lot of female coaches.
Hmm. Okay.
I've just recently started coaching myself. That's like my weekend job. But I'm coaching like maybe 6 people. whereas we have probably about, I can think of like 3 coaches that are coaching like 50 plus people.
Okay. But
So I think we've got some really good ones,
mm,
but it would be great to see some coaching development to get more people
right.
coming in to spread that load a bit.
100%. So I think that's a great. The coaching development is sort of vital to the growth of the sport, because you don't want sort of the athlete growth to outpace the coaching growth, and then that becomes a
Mm.
challenge. You sort of given me an idea. Maybe we can like maybe not a regionals, but a inter club comp. Something that I try to bring in during COVID with technology, set up webcams so
Mm.
you have 2 streams, and
Okay.
we can have an online competition,
Like a
club
Tri
comp.
Nations.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll have
So
to invite Australia as well.
really, do we?
Jold.
No, okay, fine, yeah. But I think I have having.
We're at
No,
Worlds. I made friends with Australia, so
yeah,
I
yeah,
have to
okay.
invite them.
No, no, they're pretty cool. How I mean, we chatted to Mina yesterday. He's such a lovely guy. So Australia's DJ Khalid, as,
Oh yeah.
as he refers to him. And like, I mean, she's their master did really well. As you know, broke got a world record there, which was epic.
Mm.
But like maybe
Yeah.
and what I love about your where you talking about sort of the younger sort of younger executive and being more potentially a little bit more progressive, setting up an online competition. I think that could be quite fun, where you streaming.
Mm.
We could sort of, you have your refs, but then you stream lifts versus lifts, so different flights. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Hey. No, no, thank you, Siri. It's fine. All right, awesome. So, is there is there anything from your side you'd like to add before we end off?
I don't think so. I think thanks for having me on.
No, pleasure.
Um,
Are you
yeah,
coming next year to
I'm
South
excited.
Africa? All right, cool. Are you coming next year to South
Yeah,
Africa, by the way? Yay!
yeah.
That's
I
going to be so
probably
cool.
won't compete,
Okay.
but I'll try and ref, and I'll
Mm,
be there to support Tim, and yeah.
okay.
And
Excellent.
I've got a role now
Mm,
within the IPF, so that will be cool to
ooh,
catch up and yeah.
to do. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate
No
it.
worries.
I think
Thank you. Thanks for
no,
getting
it's
up
my
so
pleasure.
early.
100%. All this is about trying to grow our sport. I tell people, and I
Mm,
think we've discussed it. Everybody knows what Ronaldo's mum looks like, but they don't know about powerlifting. And this is the greater. This sport has added such incredible quality and value to my life that I owe it to the sport to do this kind of stuff and getting up
yeah.
early morning. So yeah, are there any lifters? You don't have to mention names now. We can sort of message anyone from New Zealand that you'd like us to chat to as well, because I'd love to get a little bit more perspective on what you guys are doing, or different perspective,
Mm,
because I love the attitude of the everyone get involved, get it done. When you lift it, you don't go home. You stay maybe in spot and load or help in the warm up
mm.
or ref. So if anyone
Yeah,
comes to
I
mind,
can
would you
think
let
of
me
a
know?
few people.
Yeah. All right.
Sure, will
Do,
do.
do, you, do you want to call them out now? Uh, is there anyone like you'd like to give a shout out
Oh,
to? I mean, is there any revenge you would like to take?
revenge.
No, it's
No,
like, we're nominating you for the podcast.
I think I'd probably nominate someone like Heath Graham.
Okay.
He's up north in New Zealand. He's a junior lifter. He's about to
Mm,
go to Junior Worlds, but
okay.
he's also just become a national ref. He's on his local committee. He does
Wow.
heaps in terms of the actual committee stuff and the physical,
Okay.
getting all the gear to the venue, get it set up,
Hmm.
and he's really strong. So be a
Okay.
good person to talk to.
We would love to. That's epic. I mean, so a national ref at junior, that's unbelievable. So, okay.
Mm,
That speaks a lot to your guys' culture and what you're doing. That's epic. I'm very, very
mm.
excited. So it's awesome. But thank you so much for your time. And I know it's a public
Yeah.
holiday. So thank you for giving up some of your public holiday to chat to us. It's been absolutely awesome. I hope you've had fun as well. And
Yeah.
I
Thank
hope,
you
I
very
hope,
much. It's been great.
yeah, hope it wasn't too scary.